Charlie Strong ready to embark on his latest challenge as head coach of the Texas Longhorns. I'm Jim Basquel with the latest ESPN headline. Strong comes over after a successful tenure as head coach at Louisville. He is the new man in Austin. We are joined on the phone by Max Olson, who covers the Big 12 as well as Texas for ESPN.com. And Max, what would you say are the expectations with Strong now at the helm in Austin?
Well, early on in Strong's tenure, he's basically stuck to, telling the truth as he sees it, and that's that, he felt at the end of the spring that Texas probably was not a national title contender in 2014, and he was afraid to even tell that to, the fan base and the boosters back in April and May when he did a tour of the state. I think he repeated today at the Big 12 Media Days that belief really that he's not going to put extra pressure on his players. There's already enough pressure, being at the University of Texas at the flagship school. And, I think he believes that there's a lot of work to be done. I think he does feel good about where this program is at compared to when he came in. And certainly there was not a whole lot of familiarity with him, having coached in a different conference and not in the state of Texas in a long time. But, he talked to his players at Big 12 Media Days like Cedric Reed and Quandre Diggs, two of their best defenders. They believe they'll have one of, if not the best defenses in the Big 12, and they know they have a lot of talent. They know they have a lot of veterans, and I do think that they believe that they can be a Big 12 title contender, and I think that's absolutely the goal right now.
Max, Kansas State's Bill Snyder had some advice for Strong, saying, I think the important thing is to be who you are. So regarding his coaching philosophy and how he will run things as head coach of the Texas Longhorns, who is Charlie Strong?
Yeah, Charlie Strong, at least thus far, has demonstrated that he runs things very seriously. He came down and laid down the law in Austin about what it was going to take for Texas to get back, and I think he cares a whole lot about this reputation that Texas has not been a very physical team in the past couple of years and doesn't have the toughness needed to make a run at a Big 12 title. I think that's been his full commitment right now. That's his philosophy about fixing Texas, is really fixing the mindset and really, focusing on, getting that buy-in from players. Obviously, he's a defensive-minded coach, and, he looks at what Texas defense did last year, and obviously he's unhappy with a lot of things he saw. He wants to fix a lot of things, but, I think he's a coach that is in this for the long run. He doesn't see this as a quick fix by any means. As obviously in the year when Oklahoma and Baylor and a lot of schools are really up, but I think he looks at Texas as there's a chance here in the next couple of years to return them to one of the elite programs, and you have to kind of do it the hard way, step by step, and that's kind of how he's taken this job so far.
You mentioned the defense. As defensive coordinator at Florida, he was a part of 2 national championship teams there. He's had the success as a head coach at Louisville. What are, though, his biggest challenges in Austin?
The one that most fans talk about really is the quarterback situation, and Texas has just not been good at quarterback, since Colt McCoy graduated. And he said today that he feels good about David Ash, that David Ash is going to be the starting quarterback, entering these fall practices, and that he'll have a few guys competing with him. But that's a tricky thing there, because Ash missed nearly the entire season last year due to concussion issues. I guess you would call him injury prone at this point, considering the injuries he's had in his resume. But this is also his 4th year in the program, and he knows a lot more than any other quarterback on the roster. And if they solve that, I think they know that they have one of the best run games in the Big 12. They have what should be a pretty improved offensive line, and I think a pretty sound defense. But without that quarterback, you're talking about them as one of the teams that's kind of in that fight in the middle of the league this year.
Max Olson covers the Texas Longhorns as well as the Big 12 for ESPN.com. Max, thanks for the insight.
All right, thanks for having me.
Again, new head coach Charlie Strong says he wants to put the T in Texas. You can read more about this story right here on ESPN.com. With the latest ESPN headlines, I'm Jim Basquel.